Hey folks, I'm Tom and I'm here to help. Today I'm going to make a quick video. I got a request in the comments of the review I did on this saw asking about how to adjust the 90-degree and 45-degree stops on this saw. In case you're having problems getting the saw to go up to or slightly past 90 or up to and slightly past 45 for adjusting. So I'll show you how to do that, and also I want to talk about how I calibrate a saw. Just to give a real quick thing that's been a benefit for me for a while, so hopefully it can help somebody else. Anyway, just starting off saws in general, how I would do it. The easiest way, plumb, level, and square, those are the universal items that we're looking for in woodworking. The easiest way that I've found to get these out of a table saw is with one of these. This is a digital angle finder made by Wixie. If you search YouTube videos, you will see this specific model, this actual one, in a lot of videos. A lot of folks use it. It's magnetic, makes it super easy to keep handy. It'll just stick to the body of your saw, and whenever you need it, it's right there. And I'll show you very briefly how I use it to make life nice and simple here. Again, in the interest of time, the goal is, as a woodworker, I make furniture, so I'm looking to get as perfect as I can without pulling my hair out. But, shooting within reason, trying to do the best I can. So with that said, you just turn this bad boy on, you put it on your tabletop, and here you see it's 0.1, which is not the end of the world. This is a concrete floor in a basement. Believe me, the last thing they did was have the levelness of the floor in mind, and a tenth of a degree is really not bad, even though I can adjust the feet at the bottom. Not the end of the world. So I'll go into this table, here we go, 0.1, and then this other table wing, 0.0. So we're all within about a tenth of a degree. Certainly reasonable and all that I'm looking for with this work. Then you get a straight edge here once you line these up, knowing that these tables are aligned. The wing and the tables are aligned, or the table and the wings are aligned. The easiest way I've found to do this, to get all this started when you're putting a saw, is put the middle bolt in first, then get it up to the height you want, and then work the outer bolts a little tighter, and then use those set screws to get it level, and then blast it down, and you're good to go. As far as the saw itself, getting the blade aligned, for this particular saw, again, I'll get into these items for this particular saw. Two things. The first being aligning the miter slots with the saw blade, and then talking about the stops on the 90 and the 45. So first we'll address let's say that the blade will only go to 46 degrees and you need it to get to 45. The way you do that is by removing the panels on this side. Here, there's a tool panel that I've removed. I'll show you what that looks like, and that's right here. And to do this, you're going to want to use the second Allen key down. I took it out and I can't find it. I'm not sure where it is, but that is the size you want. And I will say that ideally you wouldn't use Allens because it's going to take forever. I brought this down just as an example, but what would be nice to have, if you're going to spend $1,000 on a table saw, grab your 3/8 drive or whichever ratchet you have around and get a set of Allen sockets. And this is going to allow you to turn much faster. It's much more efficient. And I was just working on the table wings, and using a power ratchet is even faster. And again, with the interest of time, getting this right, it needs to be good, but I don't have hours to mess with this thing. So if you can, avoid using these Allens. If you can get your hands on a ratchet, 3/8 drive, and a set of Allen's sockets, you're not going to regret it. But it's $50, but believe me, it's going to make setting this thing up way faster. And really, they're just nice tools to have for other things that require Allens. But anyway, so to adjust, let's say the miter slots, which are these grooves right here in the table, do not line up perfectly, or not parallel with your blade. How do you adjust that on this particular table saw? You go underneath, and there are 5 bolts. There are 5 bolts underneath there. Hang on just a second, grab my flashlight. Here we go. So looking in here, you see that one right there? Right at the top, that's one. And then going to the front, there is another one. Right there. It's pointing straight down. It's the only one pointing straight down all the way towards the front of the body of the cabinet. And on the mirror, the other side, there's two more in the other corners. And then there's one last one, a fifth one. If you can see it right back there in the middle. I'm pointing the light directly on it right now. That's the fifth one. If you loosen all four corners and that one, this will free up the saw blade completely. Now, if you're trying to adjust it to get a parallel, I would recommend, the way I do it, is to leave at least one corner tight, relatively tight, so you can use that as a pivot point, and then you can work your way from there to get it parallel with the miter slots. So that's how you do that on this saw. And again, that's the second Allen key down if you're using this set here. The Allen key's floating around my shop somewhere, but the size of it is the second key down from the largest. So that takes care of that. And the other question I got was trying to adjust the the angle on this saw. If you have, let's say you can only get to 46 degrees and you're hitting the stop and you need to get to 45 or wherever you like to line up. If you look at the front of the saw, which is where I am here, there's the label. If you look through here into the body of the cabinet, hang on just a second, through here into the body of the cabinet, right there on the right, you see that? That is the stop, and that is for the 45. So if you're hitting 46 degrees or 46 and a half and you need to get further, what you would do, hang on just a second, you can see there's a set screw on it with an Allen head. And that is the third Allen size up from the bottom. And there are two of them on this. And what you would do is loosen them just enough, maybe quarter turn each, just enough to get them to move. And it's not a threaded ring, that stop, so it'll just spin around as soon as you loosen it. But then you would move that to the right, and that's going to free up more angle. You'll notice mine is pretty much all the way to the right. The threads basically stop there. That's because I don't trust these stickers. I don't mess with the, this red needle indicator on the angle. This is for show, in my opinion. Again, one system of truth is what I use, and that is off that digital angle finder. Once I know the level of the table, here we have just a quick example. It's calling it perfect here. All right, and this is how I'm setting up. So I'm at 90.2. To adjust these, your rise and your angle, this is the lock, so you would loosen that so it can move. And then I'm doing the same thing over here, loosen it so it can move. And then I'm just turning to reach my 90. 89.98. Yeah, and these things, they dance around a little bit before you hit exactly where you need to be. But you get there, and that's what I'm using. Again, just basing, I want 90 degrees from this table to this blade. If you're using a standard level and your table's not perfect, it's just more effort and it's slower. It's just not worth the time. Spend the $40, get this dial, this digital angle gauge, and again, you're working off. So this blade is perfectly 90, with this being, this was anyway, perfectly level. I mean, within 1/10 of a degree. That's what you're looking for. This is the way to do it every time to ensure that you're getting consistent results based on the level, how level the table is to the angle of the blade. So let's say you're trying to adjust the 90. So this is the 45 down here. That's the stop to adjust 45. Let's say you can only get to 90. Here, hang on just a second. I'm turning the angle here, just so you guys can see in. Right there, on the same threaded same threaded rod here, on the left of the front of the saw, on the same threaded rod as the 45 is the 90 adjustment. There's mine there. And the same story, it's a disc, I guess a cylinder, that's hollow in the middle. There's no threads on it, but there are two set screws. You loosen both of those, move that to the left, and that will give you 90 degrees and further. It will allow the blade to travel even further up to 90 degrees and past it. And again, I have both of these out pretty far. I have it to like 90.3 on this side. And for my 45, I have it down to like 44 and change. Again, because I do not use this sticker. It is, in my opinion, of no value. If you're trying to do anything precise on these saws, they just throw the sticker on at the factory. And your best bet to get consistent results from a table saw is to use one of these. It's quick, it's easy. Like I said, it's magnetic. Bam, just stick it right on there. It's always there waiting whenever you're ready to start adjusting your blade. So hopefully this was of help. And this is the Maksiwa SC.1100.X hybrid cabinet saw. If you have any other questions, let me know. Thanks.